Greetings, everyone. Seven from London coming back with another installment of Divine Truth News. I hope everybody's well. Today, I am joined with an amazing, beautiful brother, Matthew Talford. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm the pleasure's all mine. The pleasure
Oh
is all mine.
wow, it's mutual. It's mutual. Now, Matthew is an award-winning author, and he is actually, I would say that he's a biblical scholar. To on the quiet, you got to check out his channel, which is Matt D. Talford on YouTube. But he's done two books. I've written them down here: Stuck in an Elevator and From Fear to Faith, A Survivor's Stories. Now, these are award-winning books, and I would recommend that everybody go and have a look at those books. You can get them on Amazon. But anyway, I'm going to hand over to my beautiful brother, and we are going to kick off today's news show, which is all about, just so that everybody knows quickly what we do here. This is the Divine Truth News Show. So, what we're doing is we're looking at stories that are happening in the world, current affairs, and we're looking at it from a biblical, divine, spiritual perspective. You know, maybe we won't always reference the Bible, but we are looking at it from spiritual lens, if you like. And so over to you, my beautiful brother. How are you doing today?
Seven, I'm doing fantastic. I'm thrilled that I've got the opportunity to chat with you today, and it's always a pleasure to connect with my brothers and sisters from across the pond, as they say, or as is written in the book of Zephaniah, from across the rivers of Ethiopia. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
it is okay. Just let me turn this off for just a second. Sorry, I got it distracted there. Where's my Wi-Fi? No, I can't do that because if I turn off Wi-Fi, I'm going to lose my. Never mind. I may get distracted with a text message on this. I'm on a MacBook Pro, so it
Okay.
picks up things from. If someone sends me an iMessage, it'll pick it up. But anyway, Book of Zephaniah, it says from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, and it's funny. I did a video talking about they got ancient maps out there that'll show that the Atlantic Ocean was at one time called the ocean, the Sea of Ethiopia and the Ethiopic Sea. So, and we know
Wow.
that there's all these currents in the ocean, and we know that currents are nothing but rivers inside of they're moving water inside of still water. So,
Wow.
it's pretty interesting, and it's just cool. I'm just thrilled. I don't even have words. I'm just happy to be talking to you today, Seven.
Yeah, likewise, it's mutual. And so I hope everybody out there in these shocking times, but we're here to raise the vibration, raise the consciousness, and spread a little bit of love out there, some 5 to 8 hertz. So, yeah, before we start, can you just hold up your books so that
Sure.
everybody could see your masterful works?
So these are they they're currently like not available on, well, I shouldn't say that because by the time you're watching this video it should be. If they're not on Amazon, just go to my website. It's Talford Arts, ARTS.com. So my last name, ARTS.com, and you can order them online there. And if you order it from my website, I will happily autograph it for you. But yeah, those are those are those are what I do when I'm not doing YouTube videos. I like to write. Either I'm working on a book, or I'm writing something on my blog. And Seven, my blog is something I don't talk about, but I usually let my hair down in the blog, so to speak, because we know that some of these platforms have so much censorship, but
Mm,
when
mm.
you're writing in your blog, that's your website, so you're free to speak as you wish. And I kind of cover some of these things that we're talking about today, just things that we
Mm.
see going on in the world, and show you the biblical connection to it. So yeah, that's enough about me, Seven. I want to hear some more about you.
Well, today I won't be talking too much about myself, maybe in passing here and there, but today we're going to look at one of the stories I think is really big out there. And it's just, I mean, I was going to just do one of my videos where I just talk to my phone and put it out there, but the thing that happened with Meghan, and I want to read you. Well, let me just make a kind of disclaimer here. I'm not a royalist. I'm not an anti-royalist. I'm not an anti-anything. I love all humanity. As long as you treat me with respect, then I'll treat you with respect. If you don't treat me with respect, I have no respect for you whatsoever. And I will not allow people to violate and abuse me. And so other than people that abuse me, I have love for everybody, right? And as I said, I'm not into the royal family. It's just a non, it's not an issue. It's not a situation that I really think about too much. But I will say that when Meghan and Harry got married, I believe they got married on Malcolm X's birthday,
Mhm.
which is an interesting one. And also Queen Charlotte Sophia, the well, apparently she's not the first melanated queen, but she's certainly one of the melanated queens of the UK, of the UK. And so that was quite kind of remarkable for me. There were a few things that were quite remarkable, but beyond that, I'm not too into that kind of thing. My focus is elsewhere, as most people would know that know me. However, over the weekend that's just gone, um, I'm quite active on Twitter, and I came across this story of what a celebrity or a broadcaster, I believe his name is Jeremy Clarkson. Is it Jeremy Clarkson? And he wrote the following. I'm going to read it to you. It was printed in the Sun newspaper. A lot of you probably know about this already, but it was so alarming that even I just thought, okay, I'm going to have to address this because of the fact, number one, for us in the UK, racism is on an all-time high. For me, in particular, I'm going to share the screen. I don't think I've shared it yet. Sorry. I'm just preparing the link so that when I share the screen, I can show it to you and you can see it right. I have it. And as somebody who has been a victim, and I use the word victim because there's a lot of people that say, oh, you shouldn't use the word victim. But in law, unless there's a victim, there's no crime. And there
Mm,
is manipulative ways to be able to get away with abusing people and people not being able to, or it not being fashionable to kind of admit that you've been wronged. Do you see what I mean?
mhm.
Being a victim of somebody else doesn't make me weak at all. It
Right,
doesn't. And there's kind of association. If you recognize yourself as a victim of somebody else or somebody who's been violated, that makes you a weak human being. And that's not the truth. I mean, I'll come back to you about that because you have your book From Fear to Faith. And I think it would be good to talk about that as well. There's a few buzzwords like don't judge. If you go to the market and you buy fruits, you're not going to just pick them up. You have to sit and discern, smell it, squeeze it, taste, well, not taste it, but
hmm
you're
hmm
gonna you're gonna have to make an active uh series of questions which in, culminate, if you like, to being a judgment. So this whole concept of not judging and not, and you're not a victim. There's a lot of things that I just don't buy. I don't buy, because I recognize how it's easy to manipulate somebody who's being violated to not stand up and say, I'm being violated
right.
and I want something to be done about it.
hmm
We're creating a culture of no accountability, no consequence for what you do to other people. And so it's very easy to come up with these manipulative ways to socially engineer people out of wanting to have some form of justice is what I'm
Right.
saying. And so I want to bring to your attention, I have to share the screen. Let me just figure out, I've put the actual link Where's it? I thought I just opened the link. I don't know what I've done with it now. It is here. Let me share the screen first. Hopefully yes, it's there. So just give me a second. I
Sure.
will find, I've got it here, and we are going to look at it, and then I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to see what you think about this, Matthew, I should say. I prefer Matthew.
Either works. Either works. Whatever your preference is.
Okay, so this was published in the Sun Sunday gone. Today's date is the 20th, so just basically we're Wednesday today. And was it Tuesday? I'm completely off the days at the moment. It's actually Tuesday today. And we're and 20th of December. And a few days ago, this was published in the Sun newspaper, and there has been an uproar about it. I'm not aware whether Meghan has been apologized to in regards to this. But anyway, Jeremy Clarkson says this: Meghan, though, is a different story. I hate her. Not like I hate Nicola Sturgeon or Rose West. Rose West is a serial killer, by the way. And this man is comparing Rose West to Meghan Markle. As far
Wow.
as I know, she hasn't killed anybody, right? I hate her on a cellular level, he says. I don't know if she's actually ever done anything to him personally to have that amount of hate for another individual. At night, I'm unable to sleep as I lie there, grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day when she will be made to parade naked through the streets on every town in Britain while the crowds chant shame and throw lumps of excrement at her. I mean, this is number one, it's been published in a tabloid mainstream newspaper. And what we're looking at here is the culture in the UK against melanated people, black and brown skin people. Okay. And what you see here is something, first of all, I want to say this. If this is being put on Front Street, you can imagine what is being done to us behind the scenes. Because this is the polite version. What they put on Front Street is the polite version. When I tell you I have been hunted by these people personally, so I know. And when I saw this story and saw, there is actually a video of Meghan crying and saying, "You're scaring me. You're scaring me." And basically, even though she's saying that, they don't hear it. They come with this. Now, this woman, as far as I can see, and I'm not somebody that follows Meghan and Harry, but from what I understand and what I've personally experienced myself, Meghan has done nothing to warrant the kind of venom that we're talking about here. Now, before I come over to you, my brother, I want to share with you the daughter of this man has written a statement, because even she is absolutely gobsmacked to read what I've just read to you. I just want to say, oh, this is a very good this is a good picture I saw on Twitter, and I thought this is indicative of the society we're living in, and it's just there, so I'm sharing it. This is what it is. They want us down here holding up their world, basically. That's where we're at right now. And those of us who are participating in the silence, is we are acquiescing with this filth, this paradigm which we need to upgrade from. Now, I wanted to show you, perhaps I'll hand over to you now. Now I'm going to stop sharing, and then I will find the other parts of what his daughter has said. So, from a biblical perspective, my brother, what say you on this, what we're seeing here?
Um, I've got some thoughts on it. For starters, and they're actually, my initial thoughts are not from a biblical perspective. You know, one of not one of the central theme in everything that I write and everything that I publish, whether it's printed or video format and on a YouTube video, the central theme in everything that I write or publish is with every what, there is a connected why. And I think what happens a lot of times is that we get caught up in the what, and we don't investigate to find out why. Case in point, I always use this example when I explain this. You see a newspaper article that says deranged black man shoots 3 white guys in the head, and they just leave that out there. Okay, this is all hypothetical, but I'm just leaving that out there. Okay, so everybody's like, burn the town down. Hey, he can't do that. Hunt him down, whatever. All right, that's the what. The what is you saw this, you hear this guy kill these 3 guys. But if you dig and investigate why, you find out those 3 guys raped his daughter. And he caught them in the act. Is he so bad now? Now, then you ask yourself as a father, what would you do? You see what I'm saying? So now that is a loose example of the movie A Time to Kill starring Samuel Jackson. But and that movie didn't give me that theme. That's just something I've always felt like there was a why with every what, and that's the whole balancing Libra thing. But I want to know a couple of things. Why was this article published? Number one, I mean, because
that's a culture. That's
yes,
the
yes,
culture that we've been living in. I mean, I
right.
can testify and I can right now, I could call up and they would list on the phone while we're sitting here. I could call up at least 5 sisters off the back right now who will tell you the torture that is being done to them right now in the UK. And
Mm.
I'm telling you, this is torture.
Okay, so the next thing that, and again, if you're going to dismantle injustice, what you have to do is you have to drill down to the base element where you are actually holding up a mirror and allowing the perpetrators to see themselves. Because if you're talking about human nature, when you put the mirror in front of someone and they see how ugly they want to fix it. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I was at work, went and ran into a lady I hadn't seen all day, whatever. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. She's like, hi, fine, we're talking. And I say, by the way, you got a piece of lettuce in your tooth there. Maybe you have some salad for lunch. She's like, do you know how many people I've walked past before? I mean, since I leaving lunch that saw me and nobody told me that. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't see yourself until you see yourself or until somebody shows you yourself. So that would have me ask the question, why do you hate her? I want to know from you. Okay, fine. You say you hate Meghan. You think she should take the walk of shame from Game of Thrones. I want to know, why do you hate her? I want to hear it in your words. Because then, nobody really wants to show you how ugly they are. If it's a racism thing, who wants to come out and say, okay, well, fine, I'm a racist. I hate all black people.
But here's the thing, it is a culture whereby, I mean, the UK has a very uniquely, deeply narcissistic and psychopathic culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one that they're proud of. I mean, the people that I've come across, they enjoy, if you call them evil, they see it as a compliment.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So the difference with these people though, I mean, in terms of the whole concept of narcissism, most narcissism, but I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but from my personal experience, and I've been violated by many of them. So I've had a lot of experience over the last 2 decades dealing with narcissists. And in particularly the ones that are working within the entertainment industry. It's an industry based on narcissism and psychopaths and sadists. And the UK is governed. I mean, if you look at some of the entertainment places, you've got Tower of London where they tortured people,
Mm,
London dungeons where they killed and tortured people. These are tourist attractions of
wow.
the UK. And that tells you something of the psychopathy, the mentality of the
Yeah.
kind of people that we're dealing with. It is their culture. Cruelty is their culture, you know. And this is why when we pull back and we look at it from a bit divine perspective, because we know that everything lofty, heavenly is a divine principle, you know, as
Mhm.
we were speaking a bit earlier, it's Venusian, the planet Venus, you know, is the planet of love, harmony, peace. This culture, UK culture, people say it's institutionally racist. It's not just institutionally racist, it's institutionally cruel. They enjoy cruelty. Cruelty is something, that's why they have fox hunting. You know, they get something and they go on their horses and they chase the fox and they tear it apart. They do that with human beings.
Mm,
That's the culture that we're doing. And, you know, it's like, you know, in the story of, in the Bible, they have the story of Ruth, and she was a Moabite, as you know. You
mhm.
do know the story of Ruth?
Yes. Mhm.
And basically, those were people who were the same mindset. The Moabite people were a wicked kind of people. They used to be interested in sacrificing, and you know, they had all these kinds of rituals. Um, and it's interesting because the story, how we see that story playing out right now is that there is a culture that the thing about the Moabites, they didn't see anything wrong, because you were saying that when somebody, you put the mirror to somebody,
Mhm.
and and that is true. There are occasions where you get people that can be accountable. However, if it is your culture,
Mhm.
your breeding to hate, you know, we're talking about, we're just beginning to recognize that a lot of Caribbean people, they were made Catholics, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Then when you strip and you look at the Catholic Church, they've got a zoom, what do you call that? A telescope, which is called Lucifer.
Mhm.
And if you go and you look properly and you recognize you're dealing with Luciferians. It's a Luciferian culture. And Luciferian culture, people that have that culture, they think everybody else has got it wrong. People that believe in love, that want to raise the vibration and have truth, and they don't, they think we're nuts. They think
Mhm.
people are there to be exploited, particularly Black women. There is a hatred for us Black women right now. And it leads me to another story that we've discussed and I want to share with everybody. But in just in your point,
Mhm.
Matthew, I personally, knowing what I know, it's bizarre, but on one level they have a PR. They have these people that do their PR so that what they look like in public, they care about that, like
Mhm.
most narcissists. But in regards to what they do to people, he spoke that out publicly because he was proud and he knew that he'd be validated, you know?
Mhm.
So do you see my point? And what say you?
So, and this will go back to let me bring you back up here on the screen there. Hang on a second. I was pulling up a passage of scripture while you were saying that. Um
Do you want to share the screen?
I could. Let me see. Let me open up the app here first. Let me go to that passage of scripture. See, because I'm trying to stay cool, but you're waking up the warrior in me. I'm trying to keep him asleep. I'm trying to
I
keep
want
him
to
asleep.
say, I want to also say, I don't know if Meghan would ever see something like this, but I would say nobody deserves to be treated how she'd be treated. My sister, you do not deserve that. You do not
Yeah,
deserve. Stay strong, my sister. You are, I don't know what has happened. I don't follow the rules, but there's no justification for the level of it is a witch hunt. It's been done to me. Meghan is a targeted individual. Meghan&Harry, Meghan in particular, is a targeted individual, most definitely. And that's what you need to understand, Meghan. If you ever do come across this, you are a melanated sister, even though you might look Spanish to some people. To them, you're as dark as Alec Weck. You're as black as the model Alec Weck. And if anybody knows the beautiful Alec Weck, she's a dark skinned sister. That's how they see you. Don't matter how much you straighten your hair, and you look like a beautiful, stunning, beautiful woman that you are. They don't see that. So, did you pull up? You want to pull up the
I
scripture
did.
now?
And I'm gonna come back to that Megan thing there in a second here, but let me highlight it.
We got about 10 minutes before we close the first half.
Okay.
So, I'm interested. What scripture is it?
This is Romans 9:22. And
Nine,
I
22.
can share it here. Let's see, Bible study app. Okay, share. Okay, can you see that?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
The highlighted part, right?
yes, the highlighted portion. You want to read that? I'll let you read it on because I kind of know this one, but if you want to read it on the screen, you can.
Okay, from 22.
Yes, just that verse.
Okay. What if God, willing to shew his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? Do you
Okay.
want me to read the rest or just
No, 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 no. That's pretty much it. So I'll stop sharing that. That is one of the things that's one of the passages of scripture that I reference when people talk about the wicked and the things that the wicked do. And you have to understand that everything in creation has a purpose. Even even wicked people that do wicked things. People talk about God being a God of love. I often tell people this. He's also a God of wrath. And he needs something. It's like the last video I published on my website where I was talking about the importance of protecting your spiritual chakras. There's a contrast I use in with the game of tennis where I'm talking about the results you get when you listen to when you follow the instruction of those who are trying to teach you and make you better. The results you get, and then in the end, I'm holding up a sign, a championship sign, even though we were finalists. We lost that championship match 2-1, but we were still holding up the finalist sign. So hey, we got as far as we could, and second place wasn't bad considering the number of teams that didn't make it that far. But on the flip side, I talk about what happens when you don't follow the instructions, and I show a picture of a broken racket. Now, that was a racket that I didn't play with much. So, but I kept it in the bag, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to invest in any more of these. I got frustrated one match and just wanted to take it out on something. So I pulled this one racket out that I didn't have a matching, it wasn't part of a matching pair. And I just smashed it on the ground just to get that frustration out so that I could play better. Now, if any kids watching, I'm not telling you to do that because these rackets are expensive, okay? But anyway, I had that racket for that purpose. And so someone would say, well, man, that was a nice racket. Why did you? I set that racket aside. That racket was set apart for a special purpose so that I could have something to take my wrath out on. So when you see these wicked people doing wicked things, you understand that the Most High has got to have balance. He's got to have balance. There's the think about it at the atomic level. You got the proton, and you got the neutron. Okay, you got to have that balance there. For there to be a spark, you have to have a positive and a negative charge. Otherwise, you got no power. So he created, and I'll give you another little corporate America insider. They probably do the same thing in Europe, but there's this man named, there's a system that a lot of these corporations use called the Jack Welch, something like that, method of giving reviews. So let's say you got, they review people and reward them on a curve. So let's say you're a manager and you have 10 people that work for you, and your senior management says, okay, we've got 4 levels of rewards that we're going to give out: A, B, C, and D. The A people, they're going to get the highest bonus checks or whatever. The B people, we're going to bring them down a notch. The C people, you get to keep your job. And then the D people, we got to let you go. Okay, that's fine and well when you got low performers on your team. But what happens when you have a team full of high performers? Now you got to get rid of somebody that doesn't deserve to be gotten rid of. So that's why that system doesn't work there. But if you take that system and apply it ethereally, and you maybe put it through the lens of the Most High, then you can say, well, you know what? He's got to do something with that anger he has in him. So he created these vessels fit for destruction, as is recorded in Romans 9:22. So all of these people that are doing what they do, there's another scripture that says he created the wicked even for the day of evil. Now that is an English translation.
Say that again. He created the wicked for.
He created the wicked for the day of evil. Let me see if I can find that.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yes. So this is why when you look at what's going on in the world, you can't get too caught up in and listen, I got nothing but love for Meghan. I don't know her personally. I love her as another human soul, or as another soul. I love her. However, whatever she's going through, and this is why I was getting to why did they run that article? You see what I'm saying? And I accept your explanation for it. But my thing is, the people who control the media, everything that they do is calculated. So if I can run this article, what I can do is I can get a bunch of people riled up and in a low vibrational frequency, because they're going to read this and get angry. And that anger that you give off, that is real energy. So guess what? Low vibrational beings need low vibrational food. It's like when I was fighting the C word, fighting cancer. They said, well, you know, what feeds cancer cells? Cancer cells eat fast, metabolizing nutrition. What is that? Sugar. You want to starve cancer out of your body? Stop eating sugar. Sugar, low vibrational. It's a low pH. Cancer can't eat high pH food. So you flood your body with high pH foods. Now the cancer's like, man, come on, give me some sugar. Give me some sugar. You start craving it. But that's that cancer cell trying to take over your autonomous nervous system and send signals to your brain saying, you want sugar, you want sugar. This is what these low vibrational beings on the planet do. They feed us these low vibrational stories when they don't have to. That's a private matter. Whatever this man thought about Meghan, dude, that's your business. I don't give a crap what you think about Meghan.
But
why are you forcing me to read your opinion that you hate Meghan? Why do you hate her?
Yeah, but he's part of a whole army of people that have been coming against this sister. They've had, like, in one paper, someone was pulling up, one paper had 60 stories, another paper, people were pulling up how many times they mentioned her name online, social media, and there's literally an army of people that are on a fixated level. And as somebody who has dealt with being stalked and targeted, I recognize it very well. And what they're doing is targeting Meghan. And what I understand from the culture of psychopaths is that they feed, like you're saying, they feed off trauma.
Right.
I think it was Ye West that said they traumatize and monetize.
Yes.
Traumatize and monetize. That's the name of the game.
But Seven, let's compartmentalize that for a minute, okay? Let's take the abuse and the targeting that they're doing to Meghan, and let's put that in one box. That is happening. That is a real thing. That is happening. In a separate box belongs the story. We're targeting Meghan, and we want you to see it. No disrespect against Meghan. I know she came from the United States and lives over there, and she married into the royal family. And I use royal with double air quotes because I understand, I know a little bit of my history. So I use royal with double air quotes.
We have
But
just over a minute, by the way. So
okay. Okay, I
yeah,
see the timer counting down. So let me wrap it up. The point I'm making is no disrespect, but why do I care in America what is happening to Meghan in the UK when the same things are happening here in America to other people? So the point is, you obviously want me to give emotional energy because the heart, a lot of people will argue that the heart is the most powerful of the chakras. It is a feminine energy. It is where you exude love. But when the opposite is true, it closes in on you and you see sickness in the thoracic cavity because that's where the heart energy emanates from. So
right. That's powerful.
so if you're not showing me stories that are going to cause me to radiate a love frequency, then you basically are telling me passively that you don't care about me and you're trying to kill me. So
That's
I've
right.
got one thing that I got to do, and that goes back to the video I just published a couple of days ago. I got to protect my energy and not look at that. If
That's
somebody
right.
says this is happening to Meghan, then I'm going to say a prayer for her. I'm going to say,
Okay.
Father, give her the strength. Give
And
her the strength, Father, to repel that.
yeah,
And then I'm going to keep on moving about my business.
we'll come back on that point because we're about to cut out. Stay tuned, come back for part two. We're going to be talking about reparations. We're going to be talking about maybe about, is it really Christmas? Is that Christmas really about, is that a celebration of the Most High? So stay tuned. Much love to everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Love you all. See you in part two.